Good evening, everyone. How are you? I was going to start off with a joke. I was going to be like, it's hot 94 p.m. FM in San Francisco. We're talking day one of training camp 49ers. What is it? Brandon Ayuk is holding in, and Trent Williams is holding out. No one expected that. Waiting on two contracts so they can join training camp. 49ers, come on, man. Pay your players so we can go get a championship. Far out. Pay these guys. Um, yeah, so you may notice that uh the memberships are now live. Thank you to all those people who saw the community post. I appreciate it. They finally got turned on. What was it, like late yesterday? I got the email saying it had been approved. And yeah, they're there. They look cool. I like the badges. I was worried about how they're gonna look in the like on in the chat. I was worried they're not gonna be like as high definition, but they look pretty good. So that's not too bad. We're waiting on emojis. They haven't been approved for some reason. We'll find out. Maybe they're too rude. We'll find out. I don't think so. I've seen some pretty bad ones around YouTube that got approved. Hey Shad, how are you? So tonight on the show, I almost came back. Yesterday we did like an hour and 40 minutes for like the late show. It was a really long day yesterday. We did over 3 hours total yesterday. That's long for us. We're not one of these streamers who sits here for like 12 hours and talks about getting dinner and a cat or whatever. Um, but I almost came back because of this story and it was breaking live and I almost turned it back on, but it was so late at night that I thought no one's going to be around to listen to it. So I thought, hey, we'll just do it today when I come back. This story is just far out. A homicide investigation is underway after a 1-day-old baby girl was found dead outside a home in the San Fernando Valley on Tuesday. Police were notified a 23-year-old woman who arrived at a hospital with extensive bleeding was determined to have just given birth. I think, just what a sad thing. 1-day-old baby girl is no longer with us. She was on the earth for maybe less than a day, maybe less than 1 day. That is so sad to me. They said there is no immediate cause on like what cause of death is for the baby. The police department's child abuse unit is investigating the incident as a homicide. An attorney for the woman said her client was cooperating with investigators. Neighbors said there are two homes on the property and that residents in both units were being questioned. There was a video last night. I'm going to show it to you. They were outside the home. Where is that? Here it is. I found it. Here. Yeah, let's watch the video and then we'll talk about it.
San Fernando Valley, a homicide investigation is underway after a newborn baby was found dead in Woodland Hills.
KTLA 5's Carlos Herrera live now on scene with the latest details. Carlos, good morning.
Good morning, Chris and Megan. And a heartbreaking update from police this morning. They say that the newborn baby girl was actually found outside of this home on the 23,200 block of Burbank Boulevard in a trash bin. This morning, you can still see some yellow tape, some crime tape in one of the three bins that are located outside this morning. A homicide investigation is underway. Let's get you over to some pictures from late last night as this was all unfolding. The heartbreaking story first started happening just after 7 p.m. yesterday after a family member took the 23-year-old woman to a local hospital due to her extensive bleeding. Her condition prompted the LAPD's child abuse unit to question her as officers went to her home here on Burbank Boulevard, and that's when they made that gruesome discovery of a dead 1-year-old baby girl. The medical examiner picked up the baby's body late last night. Now, this morning, it's still unclear how the baby died. Her mother, according to investigators, remains hospitalized, but her condition is still unknown. I just spoke with her defense attorney over the phone this morning. She says her client is fully cooperating with police, and they're now letting the investigation run its course. Meantime, police say, of course, they are still figuring out the details about all this. There are many unanswered questions as we come back out here live. We've learned from neighbors in the area that there are 2 homes on this property, and all the people who were home last night, they were being questioned by police. We'll send it back to you.
What can you say about that? I mean, very sad. But the mother, 23 years old, presented to a hospital and was extensively bleeding. And then doctors had determined she had just given birth. So I'm trying to figure out if this is, but they're saying it's a homicide investigation. I'm trying to figure out whether she already had the baby like a day ago and then all this stuff happened. Like, I don't know, she hurt the baby and then hurt herself, or did she just give birth to the baby? She had injuries from giving birth outside of a hospital, and somehow the baby became, somehow the baby died. I'm trying to figure it out in my own mind. I can't quite figure it out, but it's extremely sad. I don't know why, if this is the case, how come this woman either did she not know she was pregnant? Did she not go to her doctor's appointments leading up to having the baby? I don't know, but says to me that last night in Los Angeles, they lost a little baby, 1 day old, not even a single day old. And you think of how many days I've been on the earth, you've been on the earth. A day, a day seems like nothing, right? A day just seems like, it was Tuesday and it was Wednesday and it was Friday, but that baby didn't even make it 1 day, not 1 day. Oh, I know that. Hey, whoa, hey, yeah. I get it. I have seen video. I never want to see it again, but I have seen video. And if you told me that a woman would bleed for like the next 4 months, I'd be like, I believe you. You should give that woman a transfusion every day. I 100% believe you. I never want to see it again. Nine Alana says, Shad Honey, you better not be cooking Stacy's frog's legs. Well, he probably will. Yeah, just in case. I don't know, but it says here she presented at the hospital with that extensive bleeding. The word I heard last night was profusely bleeding, not extensive, profusely. And they had to treat her. But how did the baby die? And why was the baby in the bin? Do you think this was some sort of weird situation where the mom was in a bad home life? Because I find it interesting. Wouldn't a lady be 23 years old? You think she'd be very excited to be having a baby at that age, right? Very excited. Let's see. Let me look up this. Where's Woodland Hills. Let me look up this and just let me see if I can find anything else on her. I don't want to know the mum's name because I just want to know about the baby. Let's see. Showing me rental history for I can rent a home in the Woodland Hills. I don't need a home in the Woodland Hills. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Why would this be a homicide investigation then? Okay, information I have here from, who is this? No idea. Someone. They said a mother of a newborn found in Woodlands Hills suffered a miscarriage, according to her attorney. Authorities continue to examine the circumstances around the death of a 1-day-old baby who was found in a home in the Woodland Hills. Where is that information coming from? Because KTLA is not reporting that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Because I'd rather quote you a direct source rather than, hey, stop that. My the F. What is going on? I don't know what's going on. You can't protect tweets, right? This is bizarre. I've never seen this on Twitter before, where you can't copy paste. That's weird. It's like every time I copy paste, it just nullifies it. Very odd. Let me go to KNBC then and see if they have anything. I don't see anything about it being a miscarriage. A woman who suffered a miscarriage, get her the F off TV. Get her off television and off YouTube or whatever. I shouldn't even be talking about it. But it came across as a homicide investigation, so that's why I was dealing with it. Odd. All right. Let me play you a different video, then I'm going to go on the hunt for where that sentence came from.
Tonight from Woodland Hills, where an infant only 1 day old has been found dead at a home. NBC4's Darsha Phillips live in Burbank or on Burbank with more on what we know about this. Darsha?
Yeah, Colleen, a homicide investigation is underway here on the 23200 block of Burbank Boulevard in Woodland Hills. Just over my shoulder, you may be able to see some officers and crime tape in front of a home here on Burbank Boulevard. And that's where police say a baby girl just 1 day old was found dead. Now take a look at some of the video that was shot earlier. We're
Okay, I have it. I know where it came from. I have it. Let's go to that instead. This is a much newer update just in the last hour. Mother of dead newborn in Woodland Hills suffered miscarriage, according to attorney. The 1-year-old baby, the 1 day old baby, was found inside a trash bin. Let's play you the actual update from an hour ago, because that'll have new information.
Investigation led police to a baby found dead in a trash can outside of a Woodland Hills home.
NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live on scene where detectives are still gathering evidence, and she spoke with the woman's attorney. Lauren.
Robin, Adrian, good morning. I also spoke with a sergeant with the LAPD who told me that the baby was found in a trash bin right outside the home, like you guys said, here in Woodland Hills. In fact, you'll still see signs of the crime scene. This is where detectives have been focusing the investigation. You could see that yellow crime scene tape draped on the trash bin. Now, the medical examiner picked up the baby's body a few hours ago. The sergeant I spoke with tells me a 23-year-old woman believed to be the baby's mother was taken to the hospital by a family member. Hospital staff called police reporting a woman who appeared to have given birth arrived to the hospital excessively bleeding and without a baby. Detectives with the LAPD's Abuse Child Unit arrived and questioned the woman, while other officers went to the woman's home here on Burbank Boulevard and found the baby's body, who they say was a 1 day old baby girl. I spoke with Tiffany Fetter, who says she's the 23-year-old's defense attorney.
She's fully cooperating with the police.
What happens next as far as like the legal process and what your client and you are doing next?
It's a very new investigation, so I don't know yet. We're going to let the investigation run its course.
And we're still working to piece together details, including if the baby was full term and, of course, all of the details behind what led up to the death. As we wait to learn those answers, a reminder, California has a safely surrounded.
I just want to scream right now. Look what they put on the screen. LA County Baby Safe Surrender Program. Bro, the baby was dead. If the baby was a miscarriage, what is she going to do? Donate it to the local firehouse? Come on, that's really insensitive if that's what happened. And then they put this on the screen. Far out. They're saying here that Tiffany Fetter, that lady you saw, that's a woman's attorney, said, "My client has suffered a miscarriage. We shall let the investigators do their job and are confident the truth shall come out." After the woman suspected of having given birth to the child arrived at a hospital on Tuesday bleeding excessively, officers with the LAPD went to her home in the 2300 block of Burbank Boulevard and found the infant in a trash bin in the front yard. A 23-year-old woman was questioned by those from the LAPD's Abused Child Unit, according to the department. The lawyer says that her client was fully cooperating with the investigation. The woman was still recovering from the hospital as of Wednesday morning. So she's still at the hospital, may have been discharged by now. It's Wednesday night now, but she may need a couple of days. If this is true, if this ends up being the truth, there's no sinister undertones or, she didn't have the baby and then kill it or, something like that, horrible crimes that we always see. And this is literally just a woman who has lost her child and didn't know what to do and then started bleeding profusely and then was like, what do I do? I have a dead I have a dead baby. I'm bleeding like crazy. What do I do? And she did what she thought was best. Then everyone needs to delete all this shit. Everyone needs to delete all this, delete all the fucking papers, I have to delete this video. Leave her the F alone. Leave her alone. That woman, if this is true, lost her baby before it could be born like properly and, full term or whatever. She's going through one of the most traumatic periods of her life. And everyone's like, let's put it on the NBC News at nightly at 6 p.m. Sure, that's what every expectant mother would love to show the world, but I don't know. I think that's an interesting. Maybe that's what triggered the investigation because that's a weird response to the situation. I don't know, but uh, look, I can't explain that either. But if that's what the lawyer's saying it is, like most adults would know that the medical examiner can tell different things, right? A medical examiner can tell you, did the baby was it born? Did it breathe? Was it alive for any period of time? Was it full term? Could it have survived if it was taken to a hospital and put in like a NICU incubator? Could it have survived medical intervention? That type of thing. So maybe that's the details they're waiting on, but I would hate if this is actually the truth. And everyone's like, yeah, splash it all over NBC4 Los Angeles. That woman's like, look, I'm a local celebrity. I lost my baby, and look, they put me all over the nightly news. Marylander says horrific. Yeah. Either way, at the end of the day, there is a child that was less than a day old, and I'm sure that happens every single day in every county, in every state, in every country. There's women that lose babies. It happens every day. Nanalana says, Moonlight View, can you ask Danny if he has me blocked accidentally? Danny, Mr. Chat Celebrity, have you blocked Nanalana by accident? Can you see her in the chat? She's saying that you are not replying to her. By the way, I want to thank Danny. Danny was very kind. I meant to talk about it. I got caught up in me yelling about stuff. Danny donated 2 memberships in the new Knights of Ping memberships. Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. And Lynn D became a member. It's very sweet of you, my friend. And Gail sent in a super sticker. Hi, Gail. How's it going? Let me see what the super sticker is. I always like to look at them. I have to go to a different panel though. What'd she do? Oh, it's the face. Okay. I get you. It's look, a sad investigation. I don't think we ever want to have an investigation where there's babies involved. I hope mum is okay. I hope she's not going to be continuing to bleed forever. And I don't know. I just hope there's nothing sinister underneath. Like we've seen a few of them. Who was that cheerleader? Do you guys remember that? The cheerleader, there was a big court case. They tried to say that she burned the body and she was really anal retentive about her weight and looking like a hot chick or something. And can't remember her name, but there was a documentary series on it a couple of years ago. She ended up getting off fairly lightly, but it smeared her name all through her community for, I don't know, probably forever. But they said that she gave birth in her bedroom. Mum didn't know. She took it down to the backyard, and then they tried to say she burned it or tried to cremate it, and then she buried it. Annabelle is that the right name? Could be. Angela says, or Gila says, Oxygen in its lungs says it was alive. No oxygen, then it was stillborn. Either way, they can also tell from the baby's first bowel movement if it was alive for any period of time. I learned that very gross detail while doing a different case. Yeah, she buried the baby in the backyard. Yeah. Sky, not Annabelle. It's not Annabelle. That must be a different case. Sky, or is it Sky the mum's name? I can't remember, but it was like this cheerleading girl. Is it from Texas? Might have been not even from Texas. Ping, just make up stuff. Sure, let's do that. Let's have a look. Sky Richardson, is that her name? See how my memory works? It just sucks. It's just like pieces stuff together. Here, no, that's not it. No, that's not the one. Nope. Let me have a look through the photos and see if I can find the right one. No, I don't see the photos under that name don't look right. But the girl's like, yeah, she went to a prom. They have prom photos. You can sort of see the tummy in the prawn photos. Yes, Ping. People often like to take prawn photos. Prom photos. Ping, speak properly. Angela says there was a girl recently that hid a baby in a bin in the hospital toilets. Did we report on that? That sounds really familiar. You need to start running an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe as I'm getting older, yeah, as I'm getting into my middle age, yes, maybe, because my memory just can't keep up with every story we've ever done. It's starting to become impossible. They're starting to get all mushy, and I'm starting to like cross fade and memories between each different cases because we've done so many. We've done so many that are so similar that I start thinking, is that from that case or that case? Let me try and find that one. I really do want to show an example. Her name was Brooke. Yeah, her last name is Richardson. Yeah, her name is Brooke Richardson. Skylar is her middle name. There we go. This was the girl I was talking about. So that was the 48 hours. No, we're not going to do that. Wonder if I can get that photo. This is one of the. Is this the? No, that's the prom photo there. All right. This was the one that I remember. This was huge, this case. So that was that prom photo right there, if I remember correctly. They said that she was somewhat pregnant in this photo. And you could tell, like, her stomach does not look like this. This looks like a typical, probably mostly like a teenage girl that you would see. This does not. This doesn't even look like a girl who might be a little bigger than some of her other friends or whatever. Girls come in different sizes, that type of thing. That looks like a girl who may be showing a little bit. Yes, we know the details now, but I found it very interesting during that trial. Her mum said, "Oh, I had no clue. I had no clue that she was pregnant. She just hid it from us. I had no idea that she was even, I had no idea." And I was like, "You sure about that? You sure that this is your daughter on any other given day and this was your daughter at prom?" And you're just like, "Yeah, yes, that looks normal." But she ended up getting it mostly off. They said the defendant did not receive her fair share of breaks prior to judge dismissing her. She ended up getting off pretty easy. She was put on modified house arrest a little over a year ago with the judge ruling she would have a curfew 9 p.m. through 7 a.m. and be supervised by GPS. So I think she even went to university after. I read I think I watched that documentary. They basically said that no university in her local area would take her and that she had to do an internship with the lawyers who represented her at trial. She ended up going with them to do an internship and then went to a different university further away because the people in town basically were mean to her. She had money. Well, sure. Okay. Skinny arms and plump in the tummy. Yeah. Is it? Okay, I'm a dude. If you told me that, I'd just be like, I believe you. I have no idea. Oh, I see what you mean. Do you mean it's like she's a bit puffier in the face, like fuller? Like she's got a more it just looks more softer, like rounder, but not in a bad way, like not in like I put on weight or anything. Just it's just different to that. Sort of get what you mean, but I wouldn't say if I met her, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, you're pregnant." I've never been pregnant. I'm a dude. I have no idea. Gotten a few girls pregnant, but I've never been pregnant. Retired RN says, I am late. Hello, Ping, and all my friends in chat. Can't be talking about being late right now. We're talking about babies. Can't be talking about being late. Water retention. Okay. Angela's like, too much details, Ping. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Us women notice that stuff. I wouldn't know. I'd notice probably the stomach before the face. I would have been like, oh, what's going on here? Maybe she's having maybe she's trying a different look, or I try not to judge women. I try not to be like, that woman looks fatter than the last time I saw her. A lot of men have been trained not to do that. For us, it's like, it's not a thing we think about because we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to be like, man, that chick looks way bigger than when I saw her last term. We're not supposed to do that. So I would notice that she was a little bigger, but I wouldn't tell her. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, Brooke, you're looking a little pudgy." Can't be doing that. You get smacked down very hard. Well, you guys have a gift. I wouldn't have noticed in the face. I would have been like, oh, I don't know. That's our gift. Our gift is to not notice. You guys might notice. That's your gift. Our gift is to just be oblivious. All right. Let's keep going. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah. There we go. That's that story out of the Woodland Hills, and the LAPD are investigating. I just hope it's nothing sinister. And if that is true, I'll go back and I'll wipe out this entire section and trim it from my show, because I don't want this poor woman, if she's done nothing wrong, to be splashed all over YouTube and be like, look at this woman. She's done the worst thing in the world. I don't want that to be her life. So let's move on. I do have another story. I had an abduction story. Where is it? No, I don't have an abduction story. That's wrong, Ping. I have this story. All right. This story is going to have some sensitive topics, but it needs to be discussed. It is shocking. I've been sort of sitting on it for a couple of days. I ummed and ahed whether we should talk about it, but then I had a couple people contact me and saying, Ping, how come you're not talking about this? And I'm like, we talk so much about this. And I'm like, can't I just talk about a serial killer for once? Can't you give me someone who murdered like 5 people or something? I'm sick of talking about women who get abused. There was a woman. She was in Paris just before the Olympic Games, and apparently she was set on by a gang of 5 men, and she tried to run away. She went into a kebab store. They don't speak English, and she only speaks, English / Australian English. And she was trying to convey to them what had happened to her. Apparently her dress was inside out. She had rips in her dress, and even her straps were a little broken, and she was freaked out. I mean, any girl who's been assaulted will be, just a mess. She's trying to convey this to people, and they finally find some English speaking people. She's finally able to tell them, hey, look, this is what happened to me. Like 5 guys just bundled me up and SA'd me. And then she's like, look, there's a guy right there. He's in the shop right now. And then the English speaking guys get up. They literally go to fight him. They're like, hey, did you do that to that girl? Come here. Let's punch on. I'm going to show you a video. It doesn't show anything graphic, but it sort of shows what happened afterwards when she gets to the kebab store. This is shocking, and I hope they can find the people who did this to her. Also, apparently, from what I know, I have some relatives in France right now. France media or French media are not covering this at all. They don't want this story out at the moment because of the Olympics. They're trying to throw it under the rug. And I'm worried that their police department is not going to investigate because they don't want it tarnishing the Olympic Games coming up tomorrow night. So here we go. I'm going to bring you to Channel 7 News in Australia.
Close to the iconic Moulin Rouge, the scene of a horror story for a young Australian woman. It ended in this kebab shop. We won't identify her, but the 25-year-old fled here, visibly distressed on CCTV and in tears. A woman helps her with water. Staff try to comfort her. Then a man walks in. She gestures, that's him. But the owners don't speak English and find someone who can. The alleged attacker lingers and even approaches. A pat on the back before English speakers walk in to help. He makes an order, but then another diner takes a swing. The confrontation erupts. The man flees. Just minutes later, police arrive. The owner and staff today still shaken.
Moi, c'est triste. La dame est trop triste.
It's sad, he says. She couldn't stop crying. Her dress was damaged. The woman told police she was raped by 5 men of African appearance.
What happened to your citizen happened a lot of time in France every day.
The victim was due to fly home the next day after attending a music festival, but ended up in hospital.
It's a bit crazy, but because there is not the security there used to be.
This is a headline Games organisers didn't want just days out from the opening ceremony. The world's eyes will soon be on Paris, and there are heightened security concerns for visitors and athletes. Tonight worries for Australia's athletes. At these games, they'll leave the village after their events, rather than staying in the safety net of the Australian Olympic Committee. With police resources stretched, their investigation continues. Her attackers still free. In Paris, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
So from what I understand, about a month before that, or a little bit before that, a British citizen, a female, was at a street festival in a similar area. She was set upon by a gang of 4 or 5 guys as well. Same result. She was also, same sexual crime. And it seems to be an ongoing issue that I don't know how to put it without seeming racist, but seems like a lot of either British, Australian, American, white ladies seem to be targeted for some reason. I'm not sure why, but pretty horrible. I would hate to think what that girl was going through. The fact that she couldn't convey properly because she doesn't speak French what was happening to her, and then the freaking guy comes in the kebab store and even touches her and then orders food. Like that is brazen. That is so brazen to follow. You know why? Because he wanted to follow the victim and make sure she wasn't telling people what happened to her. And if she was, he could make an escape before the police showed up. That poor girl, I don't know how. I hope she gets home okay. And I hope they find the guys. It's not Frenchmen. Yeah, I know Frenchmen. Yeah, I know. I'm sort of. They did say both attacks were done by people of. I don't want to stereotype anyone, but they are saying both attacks occurred from people of African descent. I hate using that, but if it's the truth, it's the truth. What can I do? Shock says they couldn't hold that guy. I don't know what happened after this, but I'm guessing because they tried to fight him, which is awesome, good for them. Should have beat him up. I'm guessing he made an escape at some point, or the gendarmes just didn't arrive in time. I don't know, but it doesn't say. But you can see here, there's a gendarme here and one here. But is that guy still around? I don't see him anywhere. He must have taken off by the time. By the way, thank you to this lady here. This woman here came to her rescue and was like, "Are you okay, love? Like, what's going on? Why are you so upset? What's wrong with your dress?" This girl here, great girl. She saw that a female was having an issue, and she was like, "Hey, let me stick up for my sister, and come over and see if she's okay." And nice work, young lady. I don't know who she is, but I don't see him here in this outside section of the CCTV. Unless he's somewhere around in this blurred spot around the victim, I don't see him here. You know, you see the two police officers, French police. Actually, there looks like there might be a third one here. One, two. They're both wearing these dark colored pants. There's another one here inside this blurred circle. So there might be three. This might be a female police officer. And these two are men. Hey, thanks to the kebab shop too. They tried as best they could, and they did get the attention of the cops, but that poor girl, supposed to fly home the very next day and ended up having to have a time in hospital instead. Yeah, no, that's not her. That's another female that came to her aid. That's not her. She's in the blank spot. Yeah, thanks to that lady. What a nice girl. She obviously knew, like, she could read her fellow female, you know, they both could understand each other, even though it's just emotions. So what a great lady. So she looks like she tries to get the attention of the cops at some point. Hold on, let's go back. So she's here having a durry outside. By the way, is that she smoking? That's okay. You can smoke, love. I like this section too. They're like, "Hey, let's beat him up. Just harder next time, guys. Harder. Just, you know, get a couple of good punches in." Ping is not for retaliatory violence or, you know, vigilantism. I didn't say that. I just said if you're already in the fight, you should probably just swing a little harder. Yeah, so she sort of sees something going on. And at some point, she approaches the victim. Where is that video? I want to see that one. There. So she's sitting with a group of friends here outside. And then she sort of sees that girl and she's like, "Hey, love, are you all right, sweetie?" And then she's like, "What's going on?" And they try to get her inside. But yeah. Yeah, I know. Just a couple of punches, harder ones. You know, like I always say on this channel, you're old enough to commit these big boy crimes. You're old enough to take a punch to the face. All right. Let's move on. I just wanted to bring your attention to that. We are going to cover some Olympics in the next week. I plan to come on during some very strange times, being that a lot of the events are on nighttime in Australia, or very early morning. But I'm planning to come on. We're going to watch some Olympic Games, and what I want you guys to do, I want you to suggest events, like some different events that we can watch. One is definitely going to be the swimming, because Australia and the USA have such a big rivalry in the swimming. Australia often has like so many superstars and champions. You know, Ariana Titmus will be there. She smashed a world record in the qualifying. I know you guys have a couple of interesting people. Canada has a couple of interesting people too that have world records. And so I think swimming is definitely one we should do. I'm also thinking about doing Simone Biles, the gymnastics, because I love gymnastics. There you go. Weird fact about Ping. I love watching the gymnastics because I would be like, how could I ever do that? How do they spin around so many times? I would just get lost. So we might do gymnastics and swimming, but if you have a different event that you would like to see us cover, leave a comment under this video and I'll work to see what times they're on. hopefully we can come on and watch it together. Yes, we were definitely going to do gymnastics. I don't know which one. There's 3 different ones, right? There's like floor routine. They have like the horse thing, the rings, and the springboard and stuff. Then they have like the team one where each of them have to get a high score. And there's a few different qualifying events in individual and team and stuff like that. But we will definitely do gymnastics. You practice and get it drilled into you from 7 years old. You're any older than 7, you're too late. You're too late. You cannot do gymnastics. Same with a lot of sports, really. Okay, let's move on. Bigger stories out here today. I got this one, if I can load it for you. It is Linda Bigazzi. She has been sentenced Wednesday for her husband's murder. Was found dead in her Connecticut home. A woman scheduled to be sentenced Wednesday for her husband's murder has been found dead in her Connecticut home. Shocking. I never would have guessed that might have happened. So we're going to bring that to you. Let me load this up from NBC Connecticut. It says Burlington woman found dead on the day she was supposed to be sentenced for her husband's death. A 76-year-old Burlington woman was found dead on Wednesday. She was supposed to be sentenced for the death of her husband, who was a faculty member at the University of Connecticut's medical school for decades. State police said they responded to a home on Smith Lane in Burlington at 10:37 a.m. on Wednesday after someone said they were at the residence and couldn't contact the person inside. Troopers were not able to reach anyone inside the home and went in with the help from the local fire department. They're saying that's when they found Linda Bigazzi unresponsive, and she was ultimately pronounced deceased at the scene. They are considering this as an untimely death investigation. In March, she pleaded guilty to manslaughter in connection with the death of her husband, an 84-year-old. Very interesting. She obviously couldn't live with her actions, or she couldn't live with the fact that she was probably going to jail for the rest of her life, so decided to take it into her own hands. Police believe he had been dead several months before his body was found at the time. They said he was found deceased, wrapped in garbage bags and hidden under a tarp in his home on February 5th, 2018, after Yukon officials who had not been able to reach him contacted authorities to check on his well-being. It's not clear exactly how long Bigazzi was dead before police found his body, but neighbors said they had not seen him for around 6 months. And investigators said he could have been killed anytime between June 3rd, 2017 and February 5th, 2018. So he could have been killed whenever. It's like forever. That's like 7 years ago. It could be up to 7 years. So she got another 7 years out in the community, just to live her life. Seems like a pretty decent deal to me. His death was ruled a homicide, and his wife was arrested days after the body was found. They said he was a faculty member at the medical school for more than 40 years. And yeah, there you go. She was found dead. Let me see if I can get you a video for it. Linda Bigazzi. There's got to be a local. No, I see one for her being arrested. Hold on. Hold on. Let me find a video if it's from today, because I want to see it too. Not that one. That's the baby. We don't want that. Linda Bigazzi. I only can see one from when she was arrested. 25th of June, 2021. Interesting. Here, I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to go look for the one if there's one from today, but I can't see one right now. Yeah, let's go to this one.
Suda Bigazzi here on Smith Lane in Burlington. It's the home where she bludgeoned her husband to death with a hammer back in 2017, and the home where she wrapped his decomposing body in a rug and left it in the basement. Today, police were back here and they found another body.
I ordered transfer to body in New Britain.
The last time we saw Linda Kasuda Bagazi in court was March. The 76-year-old pled guilty to killing her husband, a UConn health professor, in 2017, and then continuing to collect his paychecks.
It was like a kick in the gut.
Bonnie O'Neill lives across the street.
I wasn't expecting, really, that she would kill herself.
She watched as state police descended on her quiet Smith Lane neighborhood in Burlington at about 11 a.m. Wednesday, the same day Linda was supposed to be sentenced for her crime in court.
Yes, we wanted her to be punished if she truly did this, which she admitted to.
Kasuda Bagazi was facing a 13-year prison sentence. State police confirming Wednesday afternoon the body they found inside the home this time was Linda's.
If I was walking down to get the mail, she would turn around and go back to the house until I got the mail and came in. So there was no interaction after the fact.
Neighbors told Fox 61 since she became free on bail, several scared families moved out of the neighborhood. Bonnie says there's no doubt in her mind she killed her husband.
She seemed to be the domineering one, that he was a quieter, like a little Italian man. I'm sorry, but that's, yeah. But she was opinionated.
Her attorney told Fox 61 in a statement she was a very independent woman who was always in control of her own destiny. Bagazi's husband, Pierluigi Bagazi, was 84 years old at the time of his killing in 2017. State police have not released the manner in which Bagazi died, and it'll be up to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to determine the exact cause of death. For now, we're live here in Burlington. Matt Karen, Fox 6.
You know, I find the details from the neighbor fascinating. The neighbor even took notice that I went to go get me mail, and every time I went to get the mail, she would go inside and wait for me to get it, and then when I would go back inside, she'd come back out again. I was like, "You are a very astute observator." She's she's sitting there observing this woman and her habits, and yeah, I don't think the neighborhood. I find it interesting. They even said multiple people in the neighborhood moved out after the allegations came out because they were scared. Scared of what? She killed her husband, not a stranger. I mean, what is she going to do? Creep into your home and kill you? I don't think so. She's 76 or whatever. She killed her husband, who was a decade older than her. I mean, I don't think she's going to be sneaking into anyone's home and bludgeoning them to death. I thought I read in a different article that she bludgeoned him to death. Did we read that out? I thought we did. Hold on, let me check here. They said he had been dead several months, and she pled guilty to manslaughter. Thought I read, yeah, I don't know where I got that, but I thought they said he had been bludgeoned. But either way, he was wrapped in a tarp and hidden in the home for could be a couple of years. With a hammer. She bludgeoned him with a hammer. Ping, it's not funny. Stop making jokes. Hey, Glitter is Forever. How are you? You know, Dr. Michelle left a message yesterday. What a sweet lady. What a lovely lady. It was nice to see her in the video comments. Yeah, there you go. I don't know how often we hear. Actually, I have a follow-up story about this. We don't often hear of people in that age group committing serious crimes like murder, although it does happen. There was a man in Melbourne who killed his wife, and he was like 94 and she was like 92, and he ended up killing his wife, and he was sentenced. I think they sentenced him to like home detention or something, because the court was like, we can't put him in jail. He's going to die. Like he's 95 years old or 96 years old. They were just like, just put him in home detention. Just keep him inside his home until he passes away. They're like, there's not much we can do. Hold on, let me find that for you. You guys want to see it? 90-year-old man's wife. Yeah, it might have been Canberra. Was it Canberra? Elderly Canberra man charged with murdering. Yeah, this one. Here we go. Must have been Canberra. Elderly Canberra man charged with murdering his 92-year-old wife will be taken to jail under special conditions. Oh, they changed it. Originally, he was in his home. A 92-year-old man who told a nurse he suffocated his elderly wife and was later charged with her murder has withdrawn a bid to be released on bail. His name is Donald Morley. He is accused of killing his wife, Jean, who was also age 92, on Sunday, July 30, in their home in Canberra South, where they had lived for more than 45 years. Mrs. Morley's body was discovered when a nurse came to the couple's Fisher home on Monday, July 31st. A police statement of facts tendered to the court has revealed the nurse was performing a routine home visit to tend to Mr. Morley's skin cancers, and he told the nurse, "I've done a terrible thing. I suffocated her with a pillow last night. That's her there. That's my angel." I don't know if he just had a real sick sense of humor for like subtlety, but yes, she is now an angel. It says here, on Wednesday, Mr. Morley appeared in the ACT Magistrates Court via video link from his bed in a Canberra hospital, where he has spent the past 2 days under an emergency detention order. And they told the court that he had been instructed to withdraw a bail application and to have Mr. Morley marked as a prisoner at risk. It means Mr. Morley will be taken to a prison once he is discharged from hospital, but under special conditions. I've been informed that he will have room segregation at whatever jail he's going to, whereby he'll have a bed separate from everyone else. He's also told the court Mr. Morley will have 24/7 monitoring from prison officers. In that vein, it is a relatively safe place. Magistrate agreed and noted there was no easy solutions in this particular case. They said, "Please don't call this a murder S-word." Prosecutors had opposed bail on the grounds that Mr. Morley was a danger to himself, as he had made at least 2 attempts on his life after his wife's death. The statement of facts revealed he left a note on a kitchen counter, which was found by the nurse when she arrived at the home, and it said, the note read, "Please don't call this a murder S-word. After 69 years married, we were both afraid of the future. Sorry to upset all our family and friends. This wasn't easy for me, especially my darling." The court documents have also revealed that Mrs. Morley had experienced dementia for the last few years of her life, which meant she had difficulty articulating her thoughts and performing household tasks. So, this is an extremely sad case. It is a case of a man who, at his later stage of life, was experiencing extreme, I would say, I don't know, like fear of what was going to come after, and the fact that his wife was losing sort of who she was. Hey, sort of losing who she was, and I don't know, maybe he couldn't recognize her anymore, and he just felt like that was the humane thing to do. I don't know, but look, hey man, they're 92. They're 92. I mean, I feel very sad for both of them. Although he did commit murder, I sort of understand what he did, but it's at the same time, under our laws in this country, under the laws of your country, it's still murder. He took a person's life. It doesn't matter if it's compassionate. There are services. I can't talk about that. Sorry. Actually, I was going to tell you something, and I was like, nope, can't talk about that. Going to get completely age-gated and have a giant message under my video saying, "Call helpline" and stuff like that. So no, I can't do that. But you guys know where I was going to go with that. I'm sure you do. Yeah, what a sad case. Both 92. Unfortunately, she'd been suffering from dementia for a period of time. Sounded like he still loved her. Like, you could tell he was like, that's the love of my life, and I didn't really want to do that. But I couldn't imagine being 92 and having to look after someone who was the same age with advanced, stages of mobility decline, health decline, just life decline. It must have been very hard for them both. It's not legal in Australia to help another, no. But there are services that will send you things that might help. Does that make sense? Not yet. They're being approved. I've sent them in for approval. They haven't been approved yet, but there will be emojis that you guys, members can use. Yes. Hey, Glitter. Very sad case, right? And it feels very sad that that's the thing that gets me though. He was able to take her life, but not his own. And those type of cases always get to me because even though I understand the circumstances, he was almost like her carer with someone with dementia. Must have been very hard seeing the person he knew for 40, 50 years, maybe longer, turn into someone he can't recognize. He still didn't do the entire thing. If they had done the entire thing and then he left, we read that note he left, I would totally get it. I'd be like, hey man, I get it. You're both 92. As long as this was somewhat consensual, I'm good. I get it. Choosing your own destiny, get it. I get it. You've lived 92 years on this earth. You've done a lot. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But I find it interesting that he was unable to complete it. Maybe not enough time. The nurse came. He said last night in the document here, it says he told the nurse he did it last night. That's plenty of time. There was another one. There was another one like this not long ago. I think I'm reading the wrong one. There was another one. I just told you that there's some places that send things to you sometimes for this type of thing, without being too descriptive. There was another one I read where the old dude, he had the stuff. I can't say what it is. Stuff. He had the stuff because a friend wanted it because they were terminally ill. That terminally ill friend passed away. He never got the chance to give that stuff to the terminally ill friend. He kept it and then he gave it, I think, either to himself and his wife or just himself. And then they ended up no longer being here anymore. Dr. Jack Kevorkian? God, why does that sound familiar? Are you advertising? Are you trying to become a sponsor of the channel, Sherry? I don't know who you guys are talking about. No, I don't know who you are talking about. Flying DJ says, I can relate to the 92-year-old lady. I have extreme difficulty doing household chores such as cleaning. Laziness is an awful affliction. I don't think you're lazy, DJ. Yeah, the system failed them both. That's what I think too. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I actually don't know, but yes, I do. Where is that story? Hold on. Here we go. I found it. Actually, it only happened this year. Can we talk about this without getting completely age-gated? I think I can as long as I don't describe anything. You guys can see what it says, right? I can't read that out, but you guys can. Oh, you're not on the screen. not on the screen. You can read through my mind, can't you? There you go. You guys can read the title, yes? That's the story I was talking about. So, the woman found her dad, yeah, after he did that. So, age gated is basically YouTube will 18 plus my video and it will take it from no one will be able to see it basically on YouTube. It'll get no algorithm help. It just won't be no one will be able to see it unless they come to my channel. Same with the S word. If I say that too many times, it'll get taken off and there'll be a big warning plastered underneath that says, call 1-800 blah blah blah. So you have to be very careful of how you say things. But this is a very sad story, and you can read here, it says a man in his 80s kept this thing in his home after it was no longer required for someone else, according to the coroner. And then, yeah, yeah, it was an inquest into his death, and his daughter found him. She went out for a quick trip somewhere to do an errand and came back, and he was gone. Yeah, we can talk around it. But yeah, very sad case. This is the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, see, he was supposed to return it. So in Queensland, you can do that word. So you guys all know what this acronym stands for. He was for someone else, right? It was I asked the woman if anyone sort of. I thought it was for his friend or something. That the friend had recently died, unfortunately, and the friend had given it to him to return, or the daughter, or something like that, and then he ended up figuring it out, and then he took it. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately he got a hold of it, and yeah. Oh, okay, you can Google it. I can't tell you what it says, so. Ping, did they take the pictures down for that poor lady? Hold on, let me check. Nope. Nope. I can still see them right now. I can still see the photos of what's her name? Sorry, I don't want to mispronounce it. Yesterday I mispronounced her name, and it's really, really mean. Her name is Keisha Thompson. No, they're still there. I have reported them. I can show you that, but I can't do it that way. All right, here. All right, let me go to my account. So I have reported that profile. You guys can't see it. I blacked it out. It has been blacked out. I have reported it. No action as of right now. No action from Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Those photos are still there, and her family are still able to view them. It is disgusting, and they need to take them down. I don't know if it's exclusive to Australia. I think other countries have it too. Hey Marlene, how are you? Hey Red Like Wine, how are you, my friend? So yeah, they have not taken them down, unfortunately. I'm very angry about it. I would like to see them taken down and give that woman a bit more dignity in death. I mean, she didn't even just pass away. She was killed by her ex-boyfriend who posted those photos on Twitter. So that is literally, if you looked up domestic violence abuse in the dictionary, they would just have this as an example. Like, this is like the most extreme example. Yeah, I'm really mad about it. You know, I'm a guy. I'm a red-blooded male. I'm a heterosexual male. I like ladies. I like naked ladies, but not like this. Not like this. I don't know. Like, I like the ones where the girls are actually consenting and they're like, "Here, look at this." And I'm like, "Oh, that's way better." I don't want to see some naked girl who doesn't want to be seen naked. Like, that's fucking creepy. And more the fact that she's no longer with us is gross. And she has a young daughter who is like 3 years old, 2 years old, something like that. That if they don't take this down, that daughter will eventually get old enough that she's gonna wanna search about her mum online. What happened to my mum? Who was she? What happened? Why did my dad do that to my mum? She's gonna find those photos, right? Is that the first thing you want her to see of her mum? Like her mum, um, in compromising positions with her lady parts out? I don't think so. I think she'd like to read nice stories from her family about what her mum meant to her, and it needs to get taken down. I wish I could tell you the profile, but I really don't want more people to see it. It is really, if it was just a girl with her boobs out or something, I would tell you the profile, but it is extremely graphic. And it's like I said, if this was a paid actor, if this was like a paid pornography girl or something like that, it would literally be hardcore porn. It would, you know, this is what guys go to websites looking for. I'm not joking. Like, it's that kind of stuff, and I don't want to put that out into the world when this is a victim. So I really want it taken down. Yeah, I really just want it to go away. I want her daughter to be able to go online one day and not see that of her mum. And you might be like, "But Ping, there's heaps of porno stars that have kids and that." She's not a pornography star. She's literally just a lady who had a gross boyfriend who decided to take some intimate photos of her and put them online. It's not the same thing. Yeah, I just hate it. It's not okay. And more needs to be done to protect not just females, but men too. You see now, men are dumb though. Men are stupid. Do you know how many send dick pics to everyone? Like it's like it's a Olympic sport of young men. How many pictures of your own penis can you send to women? I mean, it's literally like a national pastime. So I'm not too worried about that, although it probably does happen. I'm more worried about the ladies, but I have faith that I'm not the only one who has reported it, and I hope it'll go down. That's okay. Mamma Mia says they need to come down as soon as possible. I agree. I wish I could find a way to report it without showing the profile, but it's not. We can't do it like that. You literally have to go to the profile to click the thing to say report, and the first post on the profile is literally one of the photos. There's literally 15 of them. And they're not in the one post. They're just singly posted down the profile. So there's just heaps of them, and it's really not very nice. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to slut shame a woman for giving her partner at the time who was in a loving relationship nude photos. So I'm not going to slut shame her for that. But I understand. I get it. Like, if you don't want them out there, don't take them. I do understand the sentiment for that. But unfortunately, it's sort of a thing these days. A lot of the girls do it. Not to me. I mean, where are mine? Why didn't girls do that when I was young? We didn't have phones that could send photos. That's why. There's nothing attractive in men sending that pineapple. No, that's why I have never done it. I have never done it. I know girls don't want to see it. I've grown up with women. I grew up living with a lot of ladies, so I actually spent a lot of time with women, and that's why a lot of people often say on this channel, "Ping, you're very good at reading women," and I'm like, yes, because I grew up with a lot of ladies. So I sort of can. I can't fully get it. I'll never be able to get it 100%, but I sort of get like 10%. I can get it. Yeah. Men, on the other hand, are like, "Hey, give us all the photos." Guys are just like, all of them, just all the photos. And see how different it is between men and women? Women are like, please don't, unless you're going to show me your abs or how hot you are and how freaking you got really big muscles or something. Like, great. Show me your dick. I'm not interested. Don't send that. That is not what we find hot. I think I've met a couple that were like, yeah, I kind of like. I think they're more like if they're in a relationship or they like the guy, sure, but like maybe, but not random dudes on Tinder going, hey, 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 look at my thing. Here, look at my pineapple. It's right here in the chat. Hey, look at it. Do you want some of this? I don't think they're interested in that. Angela says, I grew up around males. My son grew up around females. Yeah, I grew up around a lot of girls. I don't know why. I've always got along with women better than men. Even Mrs. Ping says that. She's like, you get along with women so much better than you do with men. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't know why. Well, I actually do know why. She's always like, you always treat them like they're friends. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go back to true crime. Stop talking about random crazy stuff. All right. One more case. How long do we have? What time is it? Oh, we got like 20 minutes. Okay, cool. Cool. We can do one more. All right. Let me load this up. All right. That's a good one. We could do this. Hey, we all like a story about teens that do dumb things. So let's go to that one. Let's see. Yep. No, come on. Why are websites not being my friend today? All right, here.
I don't want them to just be on a billboard, oh, look, a drug driver. They were somebody. They were so important to so many people, and anybody that knew either one of them or that was in their lives knows how hard they loved and how they were there for anybody they cared about.
Two Southeast Louisiana families are grieving tonight after their children were killed in a car accident.
According to state police, the driver who hit them was underage and had a blood alcohol level nearly 7 times the legal limit. Eleanor Tabone has that story.
It's just so hard. These kids worked so hard for 18-year-olds. They had such old souls, and now it's all just gone. And I'm having such a hard time grasping the fact that, like, it's really just over. Like, they're gone.
Devin Dean is facing a tragic reality no parent should ever have to endure.
I woke up this morning just infuriated. If my anger could have blown this world up, it would have, because I was so angry. I just kept screaming.
She's now planning her own child's funeral. 18-year-old Talia Crochet was her daughter.
And I heard a hard knocking on the door. They had 3 state troopers there. And immediately they said, I'm looking for the parents of Talia Crochet.
Hold on a second. Is that woman on the narrator? Is she Australian? Is she an Aussie on an American news channel? That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, let's play the rest.
And girl, I didn't even know what to do. My boyfriend opened the door and I was like, they're saying Talia's dead.
Louisiana State Police say 18-year-old Axel Flores Cordova was driving south on Highway 3090 around 1 a.m. Sunday morning. Police say his car crossed the center lane and collided head-on with another car. Inside the other car was Talia and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Rylan Onkal. There were 2 other people in the backseat. They're stable in hospital. LSP Sergeant Ross Brennan says Flores Cordova was nearly 7 times the legal limit.
Louisiana, the underage driving limit is 0.02 for alcohol. Of course, an adult is 0.08. And the reason why it's so low is that a young person, they're lacking the experience behind the wheel, so they're already susceptible to being involved in a crash. And you couple that with the effects of alcohol or even drug impairment, chances of getting involved in a serious crash significantly rise.
Devin says Talia and Rylan had big plans.
Save up enough money for her and Rylan. They wanted to move. They didn't want to be here. And I think that's one of the things that's so hard for me too, is knowing now they'll never leave here.
This mother now faces the unimaginable, burying her child and coming to terms with the fact her child will never come home. Eleanor Tabone, WWL, Louisiana.
Flores Cordova did not have a license and was not wearing a seatbelt, and he also wasn't injured. He was booked on 2 counts of vehicular homicide and several other
Whoa, hold on a second. The boyfriend survived? He was not wearing a seatbelt. Somehow he survived, but the girl died? What a piece of crap. Stop drinking and driving. Get an Uber. Aren't you young kids all about the Ubers? Get a freaking Uber. If there's one thing I could tell young kids, it's literally, or anyone, stop fucking drinking and driving. There's no need for it in today's society. Like, I sort of get it back in the day, because when I was a teenager, there was so many limited ways to get home after like 10 o'clock at night. Cabs weren't always around. You know, the cops weren't out that much. Sure, we drove home after drinking or whatever. It sort of happened quite a bit, but some people were stupid. They speed. They weren't, keeping an eye on the road or whatever. Then they died. But these days, it's so easy to get a freaking ride share. It's so easy. Or call mum and dad. Call mum and dad. They might be mad at you. Who cares? They'd rather just get you home alive. Call them. Just be like, hey, we're at a friend's house. We had a couple of drinks. You can yell at me. I don't care. But we need to get home and we don't want to drive. So is there any chance you could either call us a cab and pay for it, or could you come and pick us up, or can someone we know come and pick us up? Don't fucking drive. Stop it. Stop driving with alcohol in your system. By the way, that lady, yeah, she's definitely Australian. It says 2 Southeast Louisiana families are grieving after their children were killed in a car accident, according to state police. The driver who hit them was it hit them. Wait, what? Wait. What happened? The driver who hit them was underage and had a blood alcohol reading of nearly 7 times the legal limit. Okay. Devon Dean is facing a tragic reality no parent should ever have to endure. She is now planning her own child's funeral. Her daughter is the 18-year-old. How did they even find each other to hit each other? They said Dean said it was just so hard. These kids work so hard for 18-year-olds. They had such old souls, and now it's all just gone. I'm having such a hard time grasping the fact like that it's just over. They're gone. They said they heard a knocking on the door. They had 3 state troopers, and immediately they said, I'm looking for the parents of Talia Crochet, and the girl. Didn't even know what to do. My boyfriend opened the door, and I was like, they're saying that she's dead. Louisiana State Police said 18-year-old Axel Cordova was driving south on Highway 3090 around 1 a.m. Sunday morning. Police say his car crossed the center lane and collided head-on with another car. Inside the other car were the female and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Ryan. There were 2 other people in the back seat. They're both listed as stable in hospital. Wait, so it was the other guy that was in the wrong. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at I thought he was driving and they were drunk and then they crashed the car. No. It was another car that crossed the center line and hit their car while they were just driving home. Far out. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to disparage someone that didn't do anything wrong. It says here, Flores Cordova was nearly 7 times the legal limit. 7 times? How do you get 7 times? Wait, 02. So 7 times that. What is ping maths? What is it? 0.02? 0.02 times 7. So why he was 0.14. 0.14. That is, you are drunk as a skunk. You would be considered in Australia like high range drunk driving. You would have your license taken off you in a second by the cops here for driving 0.14. Says here, this is low, so young people, they're lacking the experience behind the wheel. In Australia, I'm pretty sure the legal limit is 0.02, or is it 0.2? I don't drink, so I don't know. Legal driving limit, Victoria. Oh yeah, so in Australia, the legal drinking limit for teenagers is 0. For adults with a full license, it's 0.05, which I think is like you can have 2 drinks, 1 in the first hour, 2 in the first hour, and then 1 for every hour after that. Can't have any more than that. You'll be over the limit. But if you based it on Australia's drink driving laws, he was almost 3 times the legal limit for an adult with a full license. Almost 3 times. That is bonkers. 0.14. I've seen people with like 0.30 in their system and they survived. So 0.14, he'd probably be pretty sick. The article makes no sense to me because under the age of 21, you're not supposed to be drinking at all. I think it's more a reactionary thing to underage people drinking already. Or, something like that. They probably know that once people turn 18, they're legally adults. So they fall under a section of the law. Even though you legally can't drink, you're still an adult under the law once you turn 18. So it's probably like the law applies to you even at 18 or something. Like it's probably some weird quirk of the law. They said here that Talia or Talia and Rylan had big plans, save up enough money for her and her boyfriend. They wanted to move. They didn't want to be here. I think that's one of the hardest things too, is knowing that they will never leave here. Actually, can we talk about that for a second for all my Americans? Is that like a real thing? Like when you see it in the movies and you heard that mother talk about it, is that a real symptom of growing up in like a certain town or a certain location, like the get out of here factor when you're young? Is that like a real symptom people experience from growing up in a small town or, the Midwest or Ohio, Idaho, Nebraska? Is that a real symptom? Because I don't think people get it that badly here. I'm sure they do if you lived in the country or a rural area, but it seems to be really common in the US. It is? I've never experienced it. Wait. Yeah, but I moved around when I was a teenager. I moved from Sydney to Queensland, back to Sydney, back to Melbourne. No. I moved from Sydney to Melbourne to Queensland, from Queensland to Sydney, and then Sydney to Melbourne. And then I've been in Melbourne for 20 years now. So when I was young, I moved around a lot. So maybe it's true. Maybe that's why I moved around. Marlene says, yes, it is. I cannot wait to move. Interesting. Rural areas. Okay. That's an interesting side effect of living in a small town. I would love to do more research on that. Some kids can't wait to go off to college and never move back. You know what's interesting, Kathy? All I can think of at my age, I'm 40, right? I'm about to be 40 in a month. In a month, I'll be 40. I won't be in my 30s anymore. I'll be 40, which it's okay. I'll be fine. All I can think about is moving to the country and living in a rural setting. I love it. Mrs. Ping will never let me do it because she hates the country. But I could live on a farm in Oklahoma or Kansas for the rest of my life and be very happy. I would just sit there in my farmstead watching the storms roll in, and I would be extremely happy for the next 40 years. I'd love it. I'd love to move to Kansas or Oklahoma. Not Texas. I mean, I love Texas as a state, but it's not my thing. Little further north, even Nebraska or Montana. Texas is a little bit too busy for me. Glitter is forever says, no way, you don't look 40. You sure about that? You can. It's the microphone. See, it's hiding a lot of age. Actually, I often get accused of being Mrs. Ping's son. She hates it. I shouldn't tell you that story. She actually got accused of being my mum like twice. 2 times in like the last 6 months. Some woman said to her, "Oh, is that your son?" And she was so upset. Oh my God, it took me hours to calm her down. She was so mad. She's like, "Do I really look like your mom?" I'm like, "No." And she's so offended. She was so offended. And Yeah, she's never got over it. Yeah, she likes her finer things in life. Alright, I won't let anyone tell me it's not young. Yeah, it was this poor girl. LMS says, "Pink country life is the best. I've lived in a small town since I was 6. Wish I could move, but my daughter moved to VA. Nothing in this town for her." Aw. Do you go up to Virginia and visit her? I hope you do. Or I hope she comes home and visits you. Yeah, she likes her finer things in life. She wants everything to be close. She's like, if I want to get a dress, I want to be able to just walk down the street and buy it. If I want the internet and I want this and that. Me, I'd be happy in a rocking chair in a farm in Kansas for, 40 years. I'd be very happy out there with a barn, somewhere I could do live streams and work on electronics or something. Very happy. Very happy. Red Like Wine says, "I'm just saying when I was 40, I had a 55-year-old woman telling me I was old." Well, anyone who tells me I'm old gets a punch to the face. All right, let's see. Oh, he's 16. Oh, is he a good boy? Is he nice to his mum? Does he help around the house? Does he do some dishes? Hey, Breakaway. She was jealous, Red. She was mad. I've never seen her so mad. Hey, Rubicon, how are you? Sorry, we've gone off topic. That was a very sad story. I can't imagine what that's like for the mum to get a knock at the door from state troopers saying, "Hey, is this your daughter? We're looking for, X, Y, and Z." They say, like, as a parent, you must know that if you get that knock at the door at like 3 a.m. in the morning, that it's not going to be good news, right? Either they're arrested and in jail somewhere, or they're literally dead. Like, that's the only reason state troopers knock on your door at 3 a.m. in the morning if you've got children. That woman, I'm sad that she's on this show. Like, you can tell she's not okay, but I'm guessing she's trying to share her daughter's story. But she just does not seem okay at all. That's her there. That's the mum.
If my anger could have blown this world up, it would have, because I was so angry. I just kept screaming.
She's now planning.
She does not. She still is in an immense amount of grief. You can tell she's just very mad. Hey, Rubicon, been a bit? Yeah, it has a little bit. What time is it? Oh shoot. Okay. Hey guys, we'll be back at I'll be back in about an hour and whatever it is, an hour and 40 minutes or whatever, after Trish, whatever time Trish gets done. By the way, she has no time limit. I don't sit there and be like, "Trish, get off your show so I can come back on." She can go for an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. I don't care. We don't have an agreement that she has to get off at any different time. So I'll see you then. Hey, thank you to all these nice people. Dan Yee for giving out memberships tonight. Lynn D for becoming a member. Mr. Dan Yee again. And Gail for the super sticker. That's very sweet of you. And Rachel's in a super sticker as well. You guys are very sweet. 1 second. Let me check one more thing. I just want to check this. Trish, hold on. You keep putting on your makeup, Trish. All right, here we go. Oh, by the way, I wanted to, the two people from yesterday, Vicky K in The Late Show and my friend Catatonic, thank you very much for sending in those donations to the PayPal. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to get you guys out of here. I'll see you for The Late Show in about an hour and 40 minutes. Bye. Bye.